Welcome one and all to an all-new episode of the Comic Multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. I am your very, very ill host. I have come down with the horrible BC flu, it seems. So not only am I still away from home, but I'm sick while I'm away from home, and that's just great. Joining me is my much less sick host, who is making me feel more at home. It's Matt, everybody.
Yeah, I don't have the AIDS.
Nah, man, don't have it. Thanks a lot, Trump's America. That's the hip new thing now. That is the new version of thanks, Obama. It's just, yeah, Trump's America. What you gonna do? I swear I'm not going to make this a political thing every week on the show, but there was something truly hilarious in the news. I'm sure you were following it, Matt, because you're on the social media and everything. Trump and his vice president picked a fight with, that musical Hamilton.
Yep.
Well, here's the truly funny thing, and this affects me as a Canadian, actually. So, in Ontario, there is a place called Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump supporters, who famously are not very bright nor very tech literate, sent a bunch of angry messages and letters and emails to the Hamilton, Ontario Play Company Twitter feed. They couldn't tell the difference between Hamilton, the musical, and Hamilton, the place in Canada.
That sounds about right.
I'm just like this. I don't know whether to laugh or throw up in my mouth just a little bit. And I am sick, so I might actually throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'll try and throw up away from the mic. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
I'll do my best. This won't be the barf cast, everyone. You won't be getting the Hey man, there's a lot of weird subgenres on the internet and especially on YouTube. Maybe barf casting is the next best thing.
Maybe it is. Well, maybe we'll start a fetish before it even gets going.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta be on the ground floor of a new fetish, man. That's where it's at. Like all those, what are they, like ASMR videos and everything, where it's just people talking in microphones, like really quiet, like this and everything. Somewhere someone is jacking off to that right now.
Oh yeah, they'll isolate that part and just put it on a loop.
I mean, look, it's the internet. In terms of sheer numbers and statistics, someone is always jacking off to something. And we want some of that money. We want to be on the ground floor of barf casting. There's a lot of groundswell around it, Matt. Wouldn't you agree? This groundswell we've started just here.
I agree.
So yeah, believe it or not, we actually do have news this week. It's not all just barf casting. But before we get into that, how was your week, Matt?
Pretty chill. I'm on holidays at the moment, so I'm sort of catching up on video games and movies and whatnot.
The show is actually a day late, as Patreons will notice. I had people writing me today saying, was the show delayed? Yes, it was, because I'm sick and I was way worse yesterday. My throat was on fire, and Matt had to cancel for a completely different reason, so I was totally stoked that he had to cancel on the day I was sick. Because while I may be at, 55% today, I would have been at 0 yesterday if we were to do this.
Yeah.
That would have been the first time ever I let Matt do the majority of the talking.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. I don't like doing work, so...
That would truly be the darkest timeline, wouldn't it? But it's not a dark timeline, though, Matt. We think we know what the Telltale Marvel project will be now. For those who have been following Telltale games, and why wouldn't you? I think they put out quality, some of the best written games out there, and they were talking about doing a deal with Marvel as well as also doing the Batman game for DC. But supposedly, the next Telltale game is actually going to be Guardians of the Galaxy themed.
It's a pretty interesting concept for a game.
Definitely, because it's a team. I wonder, would you always be playing as Star-Lord, or would you get to go back and forth?
I'd like it to be like you could actually choose who you start out as.
Ooh.
And do their story, and then it gives replayability and everything.
Do you think the game would be more in line with the comic books, or do you think it would be more in line with the movies? Because I think it could go either way.
It could go either way. I did hear people saying that maybe the game was going to be like a prequel to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, pick up with them right after the events of the movie.
Yeah.
I would personally like to see a fusion, see something that's funny, because obviously Telltale can do this. Just look at their Borderlands games. but also draw on stuff from the comics that the movies maybe couldn't do, like maybe do a touch of Annihilation in there while you're at it.
That'd be really cool. An Annihilation game would be really cool.
I mean, that's just a license to print money right there. Keep it with that good Telltale writing we know and love, keep it with a good voice cast and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The question is who would Lee from The Walking Dead voice in this game? Because that guy's kind of like their good luck charm. He shows up in all their games in different roles.
Maybe Yondu.
Oh, that'd be fun. Or you know what? He could also be Jason of Spartax, because I don't think they'll be using him in the movie, so they could put him in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Just totally blow people's minds. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for that one. I know Telltale has been going so strong for so long. There's a bit of like Telltale backlash going on, where they're like, oh, well, all their games are ultimately the same, and you don't need to put in any work to complete it. To me, Telltale games, they're all about the experience and the writing and the characters.
Yep.
I mean, yes, it's an interactive movie, but there's nothing wrong with an interactive movie if it's good, and especially the way I play them. I don't play them episodically. I wait for them to all come out, and that's like my night's entertainment for a couple nights.
Yeah, I don't play them episodically either.
Yeah. And also, too, I mean, for stuff like Walking Dead, I think Telltale gets the Walking Dead spirit of the comic better than the TV show does.
Oh yeah, that's kind of easy to do though.
In fact, I dare say, and I know I've mentioned this before, I like the Walking Dead games more than I like the show and more than I've liked the comic in a long time.
Yep.
Because you know what, their stories are actually going somewhere and have an end, and that's nice. And speaking of stories and going places, that moves us on to our next bit of news here. This I always hate it when we do this, Matt, because we do our show at the beginning of the week. They'll always announce a big piece of news just as we finish rendering the show and just put it up. But Inhumans has been announced for what we now know to be an 8-episode miniseries slated for not only TV, but Imax as well.
I know, this was some big news when it first came out. It was some really big news.
I rarely get surprised anymore. I think the only thing that came even close to being as surprising was the Spider-Man news back when, because this is like, wow, I would never have guessed that they were going to do something like this in a million years. And it's kind of a ballsy move, and it's also kind of a genius move at the same time.
It is. It's kind of like a win-win for everyone.
You still get your movie experience, and you get a TV show that will undoubtedly build off the success of what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been doing. And you get to charge ticket prices for people to come and see the first 2 episodes in IMAX.
Yeah, it's great. And apparently we're still going to be getting the actual Inhumans movie that was slated.
I've heard a lot of mixed messages on that, actually. Do explain.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, obviously when it's going to be, but apparently we're definitely going to be getting it. And my guess is maybe this is going to be like a lead-in or sort of like a primer for that. Because I know this series, some information of it came out, I think, yesterday or today or something, and it's going to be set on the moon.
Oh, the part of the moon in the Marvel Universe where people can breathe, that place.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, and this we do know, will focus on the royal family, so we will get to see Black Bolt, Medusa, and the rest.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
It will be cool. I wonder, will we see Daisy Johnson or any of the Inhumans from S.H.I.E.L.D. show up at all?
It's going to be interesting. A lot of people seem to assume that because this is getting the green light that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is automatically cancelled, and I don't think a lot of people realize that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was around before Inhumans became a thing on the show. That's true. Now they're doing Ghost Rider and going away from Inhumans. So
I will say, though, with this season, with Ghost Rider being as big and as huge as he is, I don't know what they would do for the next season of S.H.I.E.L.D. to up the ante.
Yeah, well, it'd definitely be really interesting, especially since if it does get another season, this could definitely inform that season and bring more people over into the show and into viewing the show.
You would hope so.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what they do.
I mean, yeah, you would hope so, because like the only place you could go is up with this. Because if they came back with another season of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it was just like, oh, we're fighting Hydra again, it would be like, really?
Yeah. I really don't know where they're going to go with it. Maybe they continue to do stuff with
Cool guest
that
stars.
that LMD robot.
Oh yeah,
Ada.
yeah, lots of good stuff you could do there. Wouldn't it be funny if like every new season of Shield, because Ghost Rider was so big, they pick like a different member of the Midnight Suns to launch? Like, hey guys, this year on Shield, it's all about vampires, and here's our new friend Blade.
That'd actually be really interesting, like a horror series sort of thing.
Yeah,
That'd
like
actually be really cool.
because it's like in our first couple seasons, we've done everything spy centric we can do. What do we do next? Let's turn it into a horror series.
That could be actually really cool, especially now that it's got that extra rating on it.
Boost, yeah.
Since it's yes, and since it's on, I think later on, or I'm not sure when exactly it's on.
10 o'clock.
So I watch it at a different time, so
Same.
it can go that little bit more mature and a little bit more edge.
Can show more of Quake's panties. I love that in her suiting up montage. She's like, gauntlets, eye makeup, panties, and I'm like, oh, well, thank you for showing us that. I guess it's nice to know. It's nice to know she brought a clean pair on this mission. That's good, I guess. It's just like the editor having some fun. Like, no. We need this shot in here, though. It's like some creepy editor was just filming Chloe Bennett getting dressed and being like, yep, it's good. We need this. We got the shot. It's all good. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to see it. People are going to love it. It's going to be great. But yeah, I mean, Inhumans is cool. I'm interested in it because this is like a TV IMAX venture. We've never seen anything like this before, and already the fact that IMAX is throwing in behind it pretty much tells me we don't have to worry about this being a cheap production or anything.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, they're paying for the first 2 episodes, the ones that are in the cinema, but I imagine they're going to have a hand in the rest of the series.
It's a smart idea, man. If this pays off big, and I see no reason why it wouldn't, don't be shocked if other shows start following suit with this. I mean, hell, the CW universe is just leading up to their big, like, 4-episode crossover between all their shows. Imagine if they could film that in IMAX and make you pay ticket money to go see it.
Hey, it'd be better than the movies they're putting out at the moment.
Yeah, that's harsh but true, Matt. That is harsh but true. You could literally come back and say, man, I saw a DC movie that was actually representative of the comics I like. It was pretty fucking great. Citizen Steel had a costume and everything, and the Dominators look perfect. Did you see that? The Dominators, we got like a quick look at them. They look absolutely comic perfect.
Yeah, they look great. They got the big red spot on their face, and they got the big teeth and fingernails and everything. Look awesome.
To think you and I were just spitballing and talking shit and be like, oh, yeah, they should fight the Dominators on the CW show, only to hear, hey, the crossover, they're fighting the Dominators. Yeah. What?
Yeah, and now we've just said that they're gonna, go to the movies with these crossovers, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna get announced soon.
Could you imagine the inner studio and like inner producer war that would take place if they started putting out the CW shows in like theaters and IMAX experiences and they got better reviews and were more enjoyed?
It'd be cool, but it'd also be very embarrassing and be very telling of DC.
It'd be fucked up, too, because then you'd have to thank Greg Berlanti for it. You know, the man who ruined Green Lantern is now doing good. What? I've had a very weird relationship with Greg Berlanti. If it was, for those of you who don't remember, it was shitting on that Green Lantern movie that first got me noticed and recognized on YouTube back in the day. And now to turn around and see that he's actually got his hands in TV shows I quite enjoy, kind of amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of telling. Like, TV seems to be the format he's suited for, whereas film isn't.
I guess so, man. I guess so. And you know what? Speaking of Green Lantern, and we absolutely were, here's a piece of news for you. The Wrap is apparently now saying that Green Lantern will show up in the Justice League movie, despite the fact that everyone else involved in the Justice League movie is saying, no, that's not the case.
Oh god, if they do, this movie's gonna I was on Twitter the other day and I was like putting together everything that's sort of been confirmed or sort of implied from what's been happening with the production. And so far we're getting obviously we've got the death and return of Superman, we've got Darkseid, Steppenwolf, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Probably more Lex Luthor stuff,
the Flash and Cyborg and all that.
Yeah, got to set up 80% of the team. And tell everyone who they are. We have Atlantis stuff because a bunch of Atlanteans have been cast. Like, Willem Dafoe's playing some Atlantean.
The role he was born to play. Now, water.
And then now this. Oh, and then we've got like obviously teasing for the next couple of movies or setting them up and everything, and they expect to do this all in about two and a half hours. Yeah, I don't know.
That's okay, Matt, because they'll cut 3 hours from it and then put it all on the DVD.
That's true. That you know, it's funny. I actually watched the Suicide Squad extended cut recently.
Me too.
It's utter bullshit though. But
Oh, it really is. They put in 5 minutes, and at least 2 of the scenes they put in, yeah, I see why you cut these scenes. They do nothing.
Yeah, and apparently, like, fans actually worked it out. I don't know how the hell they did this, but they found out that they didn't put in all the scenes that they cut when they could have.
Right, because
there's like a bunch of other scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still missing stuff like, I can't wait to show you my toys. That's not in the movie. There's a bunch of stuff that's just straight up not in there.
Yeah, it's so bullshit. And if they're going to do that with every movie, like, what's the point in going and seeing it in the cinemas?
It's getting very annoying now, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, it's funny. While we're on the subject of Suicide Squad, we might as well talk about this because we both saw the movie. Of all the scenes they add in, all the new ones with Joker and Harley actually make it worse.
Oh, yeah, that scene where they're on, like, that highway.
Yeah.
And that trucker, and then I said it on Twitter as well. That trucker calls Joker a dick face,
sure
and
does.
that's the second time in 3 movies that DC has had some dick related pun. That's so like in Man of Steel, Pete Ross calls Clark a dick splash.
Oh, he does too.
And then, like, what the hell? What's the deal with that?
Dicks are funny, Matt. We should know. The bit that got me is, so the extended bit with the Joker in Arkham, where he's mad at Harley and, like, gives her, like, a lobotomy, because, like, oh, you tried to change me, you tried to make me forget the few memories I had. I'm like, whoa, wait. You're actually trying to sympathize the Joker, one of the most evil, hateable villains of all time, to sympathize him in this horrible act of violence he commits against this woman, and you're trying to make her be the bad guy in this? Really? I see why you cut this.
And then they still put it back in.
And also the bit, too, where they're walking, because apparently they do a lot of walking in this movie, and Harley tries to, like, psychologically profile everyone on the team, which is just bad writing, because it's like, no, you're telling, you're not showing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, you're Katana, and, you have a problem with your father, and blah, blah. I'm like, oh my god, you're just telling, you're not showing. This is bad writing. And then it's all followed up by, like, Flag and Deadshot talking. And, like, doesn't he call her, like, a crazy stripper or something? So, like, oh, so she is actually a stripper in the Suicide Squad universe movie. Nice.
Yeah, he calls her a stripper.
Round of applause, guys. That 5 minutes really needed to be in the movie. What a great extended edition this was. I really feel...
It really wasn't either, because they only added, like 10 minutes or so?
Oh, I would say it was closer to 5, honestly.
Yeah, well, and it was all, like, front end as well. Nothing at the end of the movie.
Still has all the same editing and pacing problems. We meet Deadshot 3 separate times.
Yep.
For the first time. The title card comes in super late. It's a very weirdly cut movie.
It is.
I would definitely say that's a movie to show film classes and being like, hey, this is how you don't edit, guys. And trying to imagine, too, as I watched it the second time, I'm like, wow, there's a whole cut of this movie where they didn't keep changing songs every 3 minutes.
Yeah, I timed it at the start of the movie. Within the first 5 minutes, they changed songs 4 times. That's almost one change a minute.
And I like the soundtrack, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like, wow, you were really trying to cover up for something, weren't you?
Yeah, it's almost like they were trying to emulate another movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Or, even worse than that, it's almost like your movie cuts around so erratically like a music video, you had the idea, well, let's make it a music video then. Suicide Squad, it's its own great YouTube music video. You know how people make, like, anime music videos? That's what that movie was. It's its own version. It's its own YouTube tribute.
It's a big budget YouTube music video.
Yep, it sure is. And moving on from there, again, we mentioned the Inhumans before, and how it's going to be based on the moon. Well, how funny is it, then, that Al Ewing is set to pen a brand new Inhumans book called Royals?
Yeah, this is actually really cool.
It's going to focus on the Inhuman royal family, and it's going to see them going to space to visit what's left of the Kree homeworld.
Yeah, I'm really interested in it. And obviously, this is going to be in the wake of X-Men versus Inhumans and that resurrection thing and
Yep.
everything. So yeah,
Which
I'm
it's
really excited.
which is funny if we're seeing the Inhumans go back to space and assumedly all the big AAA Inhumans are leaving Earth. Does this further strengthen the theory that the X-Men are going to return to prominence because maybe they worked out a deal?
It's definitely possible.
Because, I mean, look, as much as I love what Charles Soules has been doing with Inhumans, it's hard not to deny that they are filling the X-Men role on Earth.
Oh yeah, totally.
And that they're having X-Men stories, well-written runs. But obviously, of course, the heart and soul of the Inhumans has always been out in space as cosmic characters. I wonder if we're seeing them become cosmic characters yet again. What could this possibly mean?
Yeah, I guess like maybe it could be because of a deal, or maybe they're just trying to shift them to make him similar to what's we're going to see in the TV show,
That
or
too. Which again,
I
the
don't know.
fact that the TV show looks to be an outer space faring show also makes me go,
Yeah.
because you would think if things were the way they were, it would be about Black Bolt and Medusa and Gorgon and everyone coming to Earth and setting up like their own little Inhuman town, much like it is in the comics currently.
Yeah, setting up New Attilan or something in New York or something.
Yeah, the fact that that they're going back off to space makes me kind of raise an eyebrow. Now, here's another thing too, because obviously, if we keep getting more Inhuman books, this becomes the thing with X-Men books, and that is like, okay, well, which one do I read though? Do I read Uncanny Inhumans or do I read this one?
Yeah, well, I definitely would read this one because it's all like the big players
The
of
big
the
guns.
Inhuman world. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what other Inhuman books coming out. Is Uncanny Inhumans ending?
I think that's the only one now, and I didn't hear it was ending.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only one at the moment, and they seem to be just telling stories from like smaller Inhuman characters at the moment.
Right. There was all new Inhumans with Crystal, but that one got canceled, and now Crystal's on this team.
Yeah, and she's in the Uncanny Inhumans book, so
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, so they all just kind of walk around those characters. Good for them.
Yeah.
Now, while we're still on the subject of space, this is quite fitting, and I know Matt will probably have a hell of a lot to say about this. New Darth Maul comic miniseries coming from Marvel.
I know, I did not expect this.
No, no, I mean, they've been doing really good with their miniseries, haven't they? From their Solos to their Damarins to their Obi-Wan and Anakins. It makes sense that Maul would pull one.
Yeah, and it's going to be set during a time period we don't really know a lot about. It's set before episode 1, and it sees Darth Maul going after a Jedi apprentice
Nice.
who has something big happen with him and everything. I think it's like a test for Maul or something. I'm not too sure.
Well, I heard that it was going to focus on his training with Sidious, which we've technically already
Yeah.
seen in expanded universe stuff, but that stuff doesn't count anymore, so we get to tell it again.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued.
I wonder, will we see him back on Dathomir and everything? Because obviously the Clone Wars did such hard work setting up Dathomir and its ecosystem and everything. Will we actually see him get chosen by Sidious?
I think we will. Or they might just sort of skip by that a little bit, and maybe because they might be leaving that for like Rebels or something. But I could definitely see them doing it and setting that that the Dathomir and the Night Sisters and everything.
Did you ever think that Darth Maul, a character who had almost no speaking lines in The Phantom Menace, would actually end up being such a deeply involved character in the expanded universe and everything around?
I didn't, and it's great.
It's kind of crazy. I know I was having an argument with another Star Wars fan where he's like, no, I draw the line at Maul. No, they had their chance with him and they didn't do anything. I'm like, yeah, but he's awesome now. He's on Rebels and he's old as shit now. And he's like, well, why isn't he dead then? I'm like, oh, Dathomirian DNA. I don't know how they age.
Yeah, the Force and everything.
The Force or something. You know, he's got a bad hip, that Darth Maul. He eats the prunes.
Yeah, his hips rusted, so yeah.
He's pretty fucking spry for a dude his age, though, you gotta admit.
Yeah.
Spry Maul. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in this one. I've sadly fallen off the Star Wars books because I've just had too much other stuff to read. But this definitely looks like a strong one. I can't wait to pick this one up.
Yeah, the Star Wars books so far have been so great. I think this coming week, the Han Solo series ends.
Nice. There hasn't been a
And,
bad one yet. They've all been quality.
Yeah, they've all been great and all had great creative teams on them as well.
I think this is Bun writing this one, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Nice. Good for him. I bet he'll write a good one. Oh, excuse me. Who do you think will be next for a Star Wars book? They've given Chewie one, they've given Han one.
I'd like a Qui-Gon Jinn book.
Oh, yeah,
So I think he was severely underused in The Phantom Menace, and there was something really cool about him. So I'd like to see a little bit more about him.
Yeah, let's salvage him in the new universe, why don't we?
Yeah.
Let's write him some new shit. Honestly, I'm shocked and amazed that we're this far in, and no one has tried to write a Boba Fett book.
Well, I think they've got something planned for him.
I guess, because doesn't he have a movie or something coming down the pipeline?
Oh, that's the rumors. There's nothing been confirmed, so...
I mean, shit, Kanan got a book for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, he was in the TV show and everything, so yeah.
Nice that'll bring it all together there. What are some other side characters? I guess that's one to pitch to the fan base out there listening. Who would you like to see get a book of their own? I'm surprised no one said, "Hey, what about Mace Windu, Mace Sam Jackson Windu?"
Yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool.
That would be good. You can have a whole story about how he was an actor before he became a Jedi, and he was in a bunch of great movies. Until he discovered he was force sensitive, and then he got a sweet purple lightsaber because he asked.
I'd actually really like to see if they ever do anything with him, whether they keep much of his expanded universe stuff, because in the expanded universe, his force abilities included this thing where he could sense the shatter point of anything and utilize that to find its weakness, and I thought that was really cool.
Nice. What about a pod racing story where we follow around Sebulba?
That'd be pretty cool.
Hey,
Fast and Furious in space.
Oh, Matt, there you go. You just sold it right there. And then Vin Diesel, just as Vin Diesel in space. He doesn't need to be an alien or anything. He can just show up. Pod racing, Corona, blue milk. Oh, there's one we need to find. Aunt Beru's Day Out. That'll be a 5-part miniseries where we just follow around Aunt Beru and see what she's been up to. Yeah, she's just doing so. She goes to the market, picks up some stuff, washes Luke's clothes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, just everyday mum stuff.
Just everyday mum stuff. Pours the blue milk. It's all good. We say that, but because anything with the Star Wars label would sell on it, I bet Aunt Beru's Day Out would sell really, really good.
Oh, it probably would.
You know what? Make it an anthology book with a bunch of other characters where it's like, really? Like, what is it? Freaking Jar Jar Binks can have a backup in this.
In the old expanded universe, Jar Jar Binks' father had his own storyline, and it ended with him killing himself on an island after realizing that his son would still be alive or something. It was really weird.
He saw what a failure his son would be, and I can't live in this world. Smart man, smart Gungan. He did what he had to do. No one could fault him for that. No one could take it away from him. Our last big piece of news here, and this is a story we've been following on the comic multiverse quite closely, I would say, and that is involving the Deadpool sequel.
Yeah.
Sorry, again, I'm dying over here, don't worry about it. We said quite publicly there how the original director, Tim Miller, dropped out. The score guy, Junkie XL, also dropped out. But apparently now they have managed to wrangle a new director rather quickly, and I gotta say they made a fairly decent choice in who they picked. It's David Leitch, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's the guy, of course, you'll all remember from John Wick.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what he's going to do, but I think a lot of people need to realize that John Wick was just an action movie. It wasn't really heavy on the storyline or
comedy.
Yeah, so gotta take that into consideration.
Also, too, as much as we all love Deadpool and as much as Ryan Reynolds brought a lot to that project, you gotta understand, Tim Miller was the heart and soul of that. He was the guy who made the animated piece that got the movie people interested in it in the first place.
Yep. Yeah, he was a big part of that movie getting greenlit.
He's probably the guy who leaked that footage, too.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So, here's the thing. You gotta render under the dude for, the man put his work in for this one, and it's sad that because of creative differences or whatever, he's not going to be able to shepherd the project into the future.
Yeah, it is sad.
At least we know the action scenes are going to be freaking awesome. David Leitch is also a stuntman himself, so he definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested to see these action scenes. Hopefully they'll have a bit more budget to allow him to bring his case of guns and not leave it in a taxi.
As clever as that was, oh no, I can't bring my guns with me. We can only fire this many shots.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
That was a really smart idea. You see, that's why budgetary constraints, if you're smart enough, can actually work in your favor, because it forces you to be more creative.
Yep.
That's why not every movie needs to be this huge budget thing, even though I get the feeling Deadpool 2 will be a huge budget thing.
Yeah, which might be a problem for it.
Possibly. My hope is make a meta joke about how they have so much more money this time. Have Deadpool be like, wow, I got like 87 bazillion guns. Wow, where did all these guns come from? This is just an insane amount of shooting. I mean, I'm sure these bullets aren't going anywhere near who I'm shooting at, but it looks and feels so good. See, it writes itself. Or be like, man, we couldn't have done this in the first movie. Or, wow, that was really expensive what we just did. Basically just turn the whole thing into 22 Jump Street, where they're like, oh no, our funding got cut. What do we do?
Yeah, don't drive through the robotics lab.
Oh no. God, I love those movies. So yeah, I mean, I guess with that's all the news for this week. Not a bad week for stuff going on, I must say.
Yeah, it was a pretty news-filled week, and imagine it's just going to keep coming.
Yeah, definitely, especially as we move on into the new year and everything. C2E2 is coming up very soon. That's always the one where the big comic book news comes in.
Yeah, that's coming up. When's that again?
April, I think.
April, oh god, yeah, that's pretty close.
I'm actually thinking I might go to C2E2 this year. I know some people who are going, so I might actually try and get out there.
Awesome.
If I can save up the money for it. I've never been to Chicago before. I've never been to the murder capital of the United States.
Oh, you'll love it.
I said myrtle. I've never been to the myrtle capital. What's a myrtle? Well, you know, it's like a girdle, but you know, for your junk, it's a myrtle. It's like a merkin. But you know, here's the funny thing. I had a chance to go last year, but couldn't quite make it because I couldn't save up the money and I didn't have a passport at the time. And it's funny, that was when they had the big DC Rebirth panel and everything. And the irony being is that, you know, all the people I know who make YouTube videos were there at the event, and as such couldn't make videos about it, so I got to make a video on DC Rebirth, and it actually ended up being probably one of my most successful videos.
Yeah, so did I. I was really happy about that. They live streamed the whole event.
Yeah. That's truly one of the hilarious things about going to cons, is that while you're there, you will hear none of the news.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's very, very crazy like that. So I guess with that, we can hop on over into what we read this week. I've been really slow reading this week, I ain't gonna lie. What did you read this week, Matt? I will let you go first.
I'm really happy I actually got all my reviews done. I read a book that I know we both read, and I read this because I'm hopping back into the series and because it had Superman in it, and that was Nightwing issue 9.
Yes, this was a big Superman-centric episode issue, and this isn't the first time either that Tim Seeley has teamed up Nightwing and Superman. He really seems to love that pairing.
Yeah, and it's a classic pairing as well because they were really great friends in the pre-Flashpoint universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the Superman says in this, Dick Grayson is a multiversal constant.
Yeah, he's a good guy in everyone.
And it was a really great. I guess it was kind of like a filler one-shot.
Yeah.
Where we see Dr. Destiny playing with
creepy as fuck.
Mind. Yeah, he looks really cool. And Superman has to go inside Nightwing's mind and go all Inception.
At least they make that joke. At least they make the Inception joke.
Yeah, at least they do that. But yeah, it was really cool. And what I really liked about it is the little cameo nods, or maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe it's something for future that's come down. The foreshadowing of like Superboy Prime and all those. I'm like, oh, stop teasing me, Tim Seeley.
They drew them, which means he's interested in them, which means no, you're a bigger Superman fan than me, so you'll be able to tell me this. So there was in the little flash where Superman says, "Oh, I'm taking an effort to try and make sure the villains I fought on my own Earth won't be a problem here." We had Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
We had Superboy Prime. Who was the long-haired dude in the back who looked like Mum-Ra?
Oh my god, I remember who he was, but now I've completely forgotten. I can't remember. I don't want to say who it is in case someone is like, "That's not right."
At first, I'm like, is that supposed to be Phantom King? Is that like a Phantom Zone criminal? Who the fuck is that?
No, that's not Phantom King. Phantom King looks like a mummy.
Right, of course.
Ah, God.
'Cause
I had his name when I was like reading the comic. I'm like, oh, that's this guy. And I can't. I want to say BlackRock, but I probably know it's not BlackRock.
Because that's the funny thing about Seeley too, because he'll put in really well-known references into his shit, and then he'll also throw you like crazy obscure curveballs. Because I remember when I was reading one of his Batman-centric stories, and he's like, "Yeah, you'll go undercover as two Batman villains," and one of the Batman villains he chose was Scalp Hunter, and I'm like, "Oh wow, what an obscure reference." And Scalp Hunter is one of my favorite obscure references because he has such a cool design.
Yeah.
Or no, not Scalp Hunter, Headhunter. Scalp Hunter is one of the Reavers. From Marvel, there's way too many. But yeah, that was a great story, and it had probably one of the best turns I've ever seen ever, where Superman's like, "Oh, well, I wanted to take you somewhere, Dick, where I knew you'd be safe and where I knew you'd be at home." Only this Superman doesn't know that this Nightwing has never been to Bloodhaven, so he actually ends up taking him to Bloodhaven.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I never actually knew this Nightwing hadn't actually been to Bloodhaven.
No.
I always thought he had been to Bloodhaven before that.
Not only has this Nightwing never been to Bloodhaven, they didn't mention Bloodhaven until DCU.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't mention it till
Wow.
late. That's where Renee Montoya was hiding when she came back in Detective Comics. She's like, "Yeah, guys, I was just in Bloodhaven."
Oh, wow.
Which is funny, because like that was a huge moment for me that had me nerd out and lose my mind, and I expected like all the comic websites to pick up on it, but no one did. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess I'm the only one who cares about Renee Montoya and Bloodhaven. But yeah, that was a cool story, and it perfectly sets up the next issue, where Nightwing will be going to establish himself in Bloodhaven.
Yeah, so it's all fallen into place.
I love that it was Superman's idea.
Yeah, again, it stays with that constant where he was the one who provided Nightwing with his name, and he's good friends with Nightwing and everything. It's really great what they're doing.
Yeah, really well done. It's funny. It's almost like you just let Superman act like Superman, and suddenly everything else in the comics just fall into place.
Yeah, it just falls into place like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's like if Superman is the way he should always be, then everything else gets fine.
Yeah, maybe the movie should take note.
Just maybe, Matt. Just maybe we can dream. I guess from DC over to Marvel, Infamous Iron Man #2 was this week as well.
Yeah, this was a really cool issue. It was The Thing versus the Infamous Iron Man.
Yeah, much more of a Thing-centric issue, but I love the way Bendis writes The Thing.
Yeah, he's so good. You get the accent in the dialogue and everything.
Wonderful. I forgot, because there hasn't been like any good Fantastic Four story since like Secret Wars. I forgot how much I love The Thing.
I know. It makes me wonder, like, whether they're going to be coming back soon. Like, whether we get The Thing here, and maybe in some other book we get, Johnny Storm or something.
Well, Johnny Storm's on the Uncanny Avengers. He just doesn't do much.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He's like the background. He's like the boy toy for Medusa.
Yeah, I was like, isn't he also dating Medusa? It's like he's everywhere but nowhere.
Yeah, he hasn't appeared for quite a number of issues lately.
Yeah, and he hasn't had many speaking lines in Uncanny. Has a great new costume, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, his costume's really cool.
Now, if only he could do something with it. But yeah, this Infamous Iron Man story was really cool. I like Doom's new approach to crime fighting, and that is just, hey, I'm going to find other evil geniuses out there like myself, give them the option to either be good like me, or I'll kill them.
It's a very black and white look at the crime fighting.
It's a very proactive take to crime fighting. It reminded me a lot of Superior Spider-Man, where it's like, well, I was a villain myself, so I know who all the heavy hitters are, I know how they think, and I know where to find them.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really good. And I like, too, that he gives them a chance. He's like, okay, Mad Thinker, you're going to be a good guy now? No? Okay, then.
No, you're gonna send all your robots after me? Okay, then.
No, I've been looking for a reason to try out my new weaponry. Okay, then. You tried. And then to, like, have him have this big display of power and then to see him get shot by accident.
Yeah, shot by Amara by accident. That was cool.
And then to him just be shocked and incensed for the rest of the issue. Like, you shot me. I was God King Doom. I saw the universe reshake and you shot me.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm the king of my own nation and you shot me. I stole the Iron Man mantle and you shot me. I had something important to tell you, but now I can't remember because you shot me. I love this. It's just like nothing's ever hurt him or bested him before. He's like freaking Xerxes at the end of 300 when someone just hits him a little, but he's like, oh no, I'm not invincible.
Yeah, he's kind of shocked.
I'm not nearly as invincible as I thought. But yeah, Infamous Iron Man continues to be really good. It's nice to see what Bendis can do when he gives a crap. This and the other Iron Man book are prime giving a crap. I'll get into Bendis not giving a crap later.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he gives a crap now, but whether he'll give a crap in 6 months.
Yeah, gets to be seen, unless he gets a new shiny project he's working on.
Yeah.
Which is always the case. What else did you have this week, Matt?
I had Justice League issue 9.
See, I've dropped off on Justice League. Has it gotten any better, or has it still suffered from the same problems?
It's gotten a lot better, but like this issue, it's the last 2 issues have been about something hacking the team, and they turn all of Batman's gadgets against him in the Batcave and utterly destroy the Batcave.
Oh no!
They try and crash the Watchtower down on San Francisco, and they hack Baz's ring.
They hack the planet.
Pretty much they hack the planet. And
Justice League versus Elite Hacksaws.
And obviously it was connected to that one woman who died during the Kindred battle. Oh. And I originally thought maybe she'd become a villain, maybe some type of Brother Eye type thing, or Brainiac's somehow involved, messing with the Justice League and everything. And it's just her husband who's just an elite hacker.
Oh. That actually sounds pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah, it is. I originally thought, there's going to be something else. There's going to be something else, and they're like, no, it's just this guy sitting in his garage on his computer hacking them.
Sounds like I wouldn't like that one. I don't know what. Who's the guy writing that one again? It's the guy who did the Ultimates. His name.
Brian Hitch.
Brian Hitch. What are you doing, Brian Hitch? What are you doing?
I think right now, the book is in that mode where it's like we just got to get to December so Justice League versus Suicide Squad can kick in and I can put my feet up.
I guess, which, it's funny, we read the solicitations today. Apparently that Justice League of America is itself a spin-off from Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
Yep.
And I'll tell you right now, Justice League of America seems to be the one Justice League book I actually want to read.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty cool book.
Looks like a cool happening book with cool happening people. I guess keeping on the team front, I'll talk about a book that might as well be the new Justice League, because it's that good. It's as good as Justice League should be, and that's Trinity, #3.
Oh god, this book was so good.
What a winner, man. Francis Manapul is just firing on all cylinders.
How about that art?
Oh, eye-popping.
Yeah, no, it wasn't drawn by Francis Manapul. It was drawn by, I think his name's Clay Mann.
Oh, yeah, I know, man. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a little different, but it's good.
Yeah, oh god, it's amazing art, and obviously this storyline dealt with Bruce and his reaction to the Black Mercy.
It's funny how Superman, when we go inside his mind, it's like a beautiful Technicolor flashback where he gets to talk to his father and everything, but for Batman, it's a flaming shit show nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare where young Bruce gets thrown from a building by a gargoyle horseman.
And Scarecrow shows up.
Yeah, it's so weird and kind of fucked up.
It's beautifully trippy, this issue. We kind of see Batman in this messed up therapy session with Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
It's good, and then you're also reminded, this couldn't actually have happened because the ages don't match up. And I think it's kind of cute and kind of funny that because we know Poison Ivy is behind this, that Poison Ivy just kind of inserted her friend Harley Quinn into this vision.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a nice touch. I also kind of like that, again, because it's not real, but it's like a look inside Batman's psyche. His view of psychiatrists and mental health professionals, how he's terrified of them.
they're all crazy horsemen of the apocalypse.
Which I loved that when Scarecrow came up riding a horse there, but it wasn't any version of Scarecrow. It was Scarecrow from Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, it was great. The hat and the straw and everything.
Man, I love Undertaker, Preacher, Scarecrow. I would draw him like that all the time if it was up to me.
Yeah, he looks so cool.
The kind of scary, messed up version where, like, is there even a dude under that mask? I don't even know.
Yeah, or is it just a Scarecrow?
Yeah, if you take off the mask, it will be like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas and a bunch of bugs just come flying at you. Yeah, Trinity is great. I can't wait for the next issue because we're going to be going inside Wonder Woman's mind. And obviously with Batman and Superman, you kind of know what you're getting into. With Wonder Woman, you don't really know what you're getting into when you go inside her mind.
Yeah, and especially considering like what her solo book is doing at the moment with that whole Truth storyline and Year One storyline.
Most definitely. What else did you have this week, Matt?
I had All New Wolverine issue 14.
I didn't read that one yet. This is the continuation of Enemy of the State, right?
Yeah. It picks up pretty much immediately after the last issue. Nick Fury turns up at this town that Laura apparently killed everyone at. I'm guessing it's not really said in the comic, but I'm guessing like the water bombers that passed over the city were full of some feral compound that that makes her go feral, and I guess that's how she killed the whole town.
Was it her or was it Gabby, though?
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't really know, but the interesting thing is that we kind of find out who's responsible for it, and it's someone in Madripoor.
Oh, nice.
And we find out that Gabby's sister Bologna, the one who escaped at the end of the Alchemax arc, is involved with Laura's mentor.
Nice.
Whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pronounce, but yeah, I know the woman you're talking about. She showed up in a previous issue.
Yeah, I think the last issue.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
Yeah.
I guess from one Wolverine book to another, I read Old Man Logan number 13 this week. This was the final issue in the Last Ronin storyline.
Oh, cool.
Did you read this one?
No, I dropped off this book for a while ago.
Now you should hop back in now that Last Ronin is done, because Last Ronin ended up being a really good story.
Yeah?
Yeah, Wolverine goes back to Japan and shit gets really fucked up.
Awesome.
He ends up having to fight like a star child, basically. Like this child with amazing psychic powers who Old Man Logan would kill in the future, but because of this kid's future sight, he knows that's going to happen, so he's trying to stop him now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's a nice message in the end where Wolverine's like, you know what, I could tap on into my berserk rage and I could kill this kid and I could kill everybody, but then I would only be fighting the same battles over and over again. It's a really great story about the past, the present, the future, and Wolverine being like, you know, I've been fighting the same battles my whole life. It's time to accept peace.
Yeah.
It's very samurai. It's very Japanese. I very much liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool book, and the final shot in it to titillate you even more is a flashback of him and his wife Maureen finding that cabin from the original Old Man Logan story.
Oh, nice.
Bringing it all for full circle. Yeah, Old Man Logan is cool.
Cool.
I'm actually hoping, you know, if our theorizing ends up being true and that, you know, Marvel and Fox have worked out a deal with the X-Men, I hope they don't rush Wolverine coming back too soon, because I like where we're at with Old Man Logan.
Well, I'm actually surprised, like, he's still a thing and young Wolverine isn't back anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised he hasn't come back. It's been what? It's been a while.
It has been. I mean, shit, it's been even longer for Professor X. He's been dead for even longer.
Yeah, well, no one cares about Professor X.
Yeah, I mean, he dies a lot. He'll come back and be like, oh, I wasn't really dead. I was just at Subway.
Yeah, I fell out of my wheelchair in the Subway car park.
And no one helped me for 5 years. Also, what's this? I heard the Red Skull stole my brain. Hey, give that back. That's mine. I need that for thinking. Or be like, nah, the Red Skull didn't really steal my brain. That was just a paper bag full of Tic Tacs.
Yeah, I made him think it was my brain.
Because I'm just that great. Go me. Now to me, my X-Men. Let's get back to business. The lawsuits have all been dealt with Fox and Marvel. Let's get back to business as usual. And also, all you time-traveling X-Men, go home. Your work here is done now. I was talking to someone else about that. Isn't it crazy that all this time later we're still living with young time-traveling X-Men?
Yeah, it's. I have no idea what the hell they're doing with them.
That seemed like a story that was going to run its course at some point, and then it just didn't.
Yeah, just Bendis was like, "Fuck you all, I'm going to write Iron Man."
Yeah, up to you guys now to figure out what to do with all these time-traveling X-Men that I've left here. And they're like, well, geez, he brought back all the dead characters people liked as younger versions of themselves. What do we do? But, yeah, what else did you have this week, Matt?
I had a new #1. I had Thanos issue 1.
Same.
It was a pretty cool book.
It was pretty fucking baller, wasn't it? Again, my boy Jeff Lemire and his boy Andre Sorrentino doing it up.
Yeah, Thanos coming back to the Black Quadrant and taking back
This wasn't Sorrentino. I thought it was. The last one was Lemire and Sorrentino.
Lemire was this one, wasn't it?
He wrote it. I don't think Sorrentino did the art for it, though.
Okay.
But still, the art was really good, though. But continue, Matt.
It was. Yeah, so yeah, Thanos comes back and whoops some ass in the Black Quadrant.
How does he? Poor Glaive, man. I felt bad for Glaive. He's like, look, my boss left me holding the bag, but I've, carved out this great empire here, and people love and fear me, and I'm doing really good now. And then Thanos comes in and is like, hey, you've been sitting in my chair.
Yeah, thanks for keeping my chair warm.
Now give it back to me. Okay, look, now either I can kill you or you can kill yourself. It's really up to you. What a baller Thanos is.
Yeah, and we actually get, like, I guess what the story's going to be around, and it's Thanos is dying.
Yeah, he's going all-star Superman on us.
Yeah, he's going to go live in the sun now. And
Thanos didn't die, he's just fixing the sun.
And I like it that his son, his brother, and his lover are trying to kill him.
Yep, how very Game of Thrones. I like to Death, that two-timing hussy, has changed her form and is now rubbing up on Thane, Thanos' Inhuman secret son.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's like, the dad's getting, old and tired and coughing up blood, so I'll go for the new hotness.
Getting too long in the tooth. Thanos is the old busted. Thane is the new hotness. Also, too, how can we also forget the reintroduction of the greatest character, the greatest of the Masters of the Universe, and that is Champion of the Universe. Oh, yeah, brother.
Yeah, Trico, the recolored Lobo.
Oh, my God, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that, Matt. He's so just Lobo in this, isn't he? Like, if you could go in with MS Paint now and change him, and he would just be Lobo.
Yep.
And I don't think this intergalactic wrestler has ever looked better than he does in this.
Yeah, I hope him and Star Fox stay around with each other, because they're like this great odd couple.
They're a buddy
where
couple.
where you got Star Fox says like, hey, come join me in this orgy, and I'm not going to get on your shitty ship. I'm Star Fox.
I'm an Eternal.
I fly around. Yeah,
I was an Avenger for a little bit. No one remembers my tenure, but I was an Avenger for a little bit. And Champion's like, I don't care, brother. It doesn't matter what your name is. Get on my ship. I just imagine that's what he speaks like when he talks. He's just cutting the Rock promos all the time.
Yeah, he's just like Macho Man.
There you go. And I don't care about your Rudy Poo candy ass Infinity Gems, Thanos, because when the hurt comes to you. I mean, heck, technically, like, the Gardener and, like, the Collector and everything, I think Champion is more or less immortal so long as he keeps doing his hobby.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the rule with those guys, that, because they were around at the beginning of the Big Bang and absorbed enough, like, residual energy from that cosmic event that now they're more or less immortal so long as they keep doing what they do.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Which is kind of ironic. As long as I keep fighting, I can never die.
Yeah.
That's like an oxymoron, man. That's like a Japanese riddle. If I keep fighting, I can't die. What's your purpose for fighting? I'll keep fighting until I find that answer. He's so anime. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm dying over here. I'm dying a slow, painful death. But you know what wasn't a slow, painful death? You know what was great? Superman number 11.
It was pretty great.
It was pretty great. It's the continuation of Damian and Jonathan hanging out, really laying the groundwork for Super Sons. In fact, they get the name Super Sons from Alfred in this issue.
Yeah, I like Alfred's role in this. How he was kind of like belittling Bruce and Clark a little bit. Like, don't do that to your sons, sir.
Look, I'm not saying I'm a better father than both of you, but like I'm totally a better father than both of you. I'm gonna
stop trying to maim your sons.
Yeah, really. Stop putting them in trains with no tracks that just end. Look, I think the boys did fine, so I'm giving them their capes back, and also they're getting ice cream and can stay up till 10. And I like, too, at the end of this story, like, you think, oh, are they going to become friends in the stretch of one story? No, they reach an understanding, but then they still fight each other. I thought that was really good writing.
Yeah, I thought that was really great as well. They have a mutual respect for each other, but they still don't like each other.
Because you figure it took Batman and Superman years to finally become friends, so it only makes sense that it would take their sons years to become friends.
Yeah, it's a great sort of mirroring of that. And
I like that that Jonathan, the one thing he does to insult Damian is that you're short.
Yeah, that's great. Damian is short as well.
He is. I love that that's the nerve for Damian. That's the one nerve he hates, that he's shorter than everyone else. Dude's got a real Napoleon complex on him, like for reals.
He does.
I like, too, they can't even get along when they're chopping down a Christmas tree. I thought that was great.
Yeah, they can't decide who's going to use the axe or something.
Stupid alien short guy. I'm gonna get you. I wonder, because we're going to see these two in Super Sons, and they've set them up in this issue right here. I wonder, will Superboy be the 6th member of Teen Titans? I wonder.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't think he will be immediately. I think that he'll probably join them for a couple of missions here and there, but I think he'll because I think Superman's a bit too protective of him at the moment.
True. My guess will be it's either going to be him, it's either going to be Maya, because that's, basically Damian's follow around now, his toady now.
Uh-huh.
Or Emiko, because Benjamin Percy, the Green Arrow guy, is writing that book, and they don't have an Archer on that team, so that would make sense.
Yep.
That's my theory moving forward. What else did you have, Matt?
I had Batman issue 11.
What a weird issue this is. What a weird series this has been so far.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's seeing this, because my reviews have been getting torn apart by people saying I don't understand it, or I should give it a better score or anything. It's been really weird.
It has been, because it's like they set you up thinking one thing, where it's like, yeah, it's Batman starting his own Suicide Squad. That's issue 1. Then the last 2 issues have all been about Catwoman.
Yeah, and it's been stuff that's been really predictable. Like, she betrays the team in this issue, ends up killing Punch and Judy by the looks of it.
Yeah, they're really making an effort to make her a villain again, which I think is interesting. As soon as she loses her own book, they make her a bad guy again.
Yeah, and it have to have been a bit predictable, for Batman to assume that she would do this. He just caught her for killing over 300 people, and he's putting her on this team.
Number.
It is when I saw that, I'm like, bullshit. She's killed 300 people.
It sounds like a rounded up number too. It sounds like a number she haggled for. It's like, well, 347. Just make it around 350. That's I wanted to make it 250 because I love Pokemon, but I just tacked an extra 100 on it.
Yeah, and also I was really disappointed with the reveal of Bane, since the last couple of issues have kind of built him like you've just seen him in the shadows, and he's this massive hulking naked guy in the shadows, and I kind of thought that he was going to have this big reveal with the costume when he fights Batman, but this issue we just see him,
He's just hanging out in his own crib, naked, didn't feel like putting on pants that day. If you panned over to the side, he had a bowl of Cheetos and his laptop open. He was just playing Minecraft that day, oh yes, I am building a prison within the world. Oh, it will be so great. Well, here's the funny thing, Matt. Again, because I read the solicitations today. You know what the name of the next story arc is after I Am Suicide, the one we're reading now?
What's that?
It's called I Am Bane, and it's all about Bane coming to Gotham to mess up Batman for what happened in this arc.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, oh, so Bane's not actually a part of this storyline at all. It's the next storyline.
he's just an extra character in the background.
Yeah, it's really weird. Again, this is Tom King we're dealing with here, and I remember feeling similarly in the last arc with Gotham and Gotham Girl. My only thought moving forward into this is that this whole story we've been reading so far is like a double bluff, like a con within a con. And he's going to flip it on its head and be like, oh, well, Punch was actually the one dressed as Batman. Batman was actually in the Punch costume. And, like, he knew Catwoman was going to betray him, so he had this working on the side and everything.
He has to, because, like, the minute, like, Catwoman gets on the team, you're like, oh, well, she's definitely going to betray Batman. Like, especially going, out of the country to a non-extradition country, and bartering with a character she has had relationships with Bane and everything, for her freedom, and he would have had to have seen it. If not, he's the most stupidest detective in the world.
Yeah, he's the stupidest, greatest detective who ever lived. Yeah, I would hope that Batman saw all of this come. What I'm interested about is the ventriloquist, because Tom King basically says, okay, the ventriloquist is actually the most important character here, watch him.
Yeah, really interested. I did like that little part in this one where they're traversing the sewers, how Catwoman's like talking to him about Scarface, and he's like, so Scarface is just you, right?
No,
it's
not
just you
really.
talking through him, and I did like that, but I'm interested to see how they're going to play with him.
I think her throwaway line from that is like, oh, isn't it nice you can just put your demon away whenever you want to?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's basically that's all of Batman's villains in a nutshell right there. So from Batman, I guess, to Spider-Man, I had 2 Spider-Man comics this week. One was a Bendis one, and a Civil War II tie-in. Yes, they're still making those.
Yeah.
By God, was Spider-Man #9 one of the laziest issues I've ever read of anything.
Really?
Oh,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you'll remember in Civil War II, everyone has the vision of Miles killing Captain America. And, Miles takes off after that. This whole issue is literally just his friends and family trying to find him. And they keep running into each other and be like, have you seen Miles? No, have you seen Miles? Where could Miles have gone? I don't know. Are we going to find the plot? I don't know. Maybe Miles has the plot if we can find him. And then it just ends up being that he went to the place from the vision. And I'm like, well, you guys are stupid. Why didn't you go there first?
And we already saw that as well in the Civil War main book as well.
Mm-hmm. It's also further dumb because it's like, well, guys, as we can see from post-Civil War II, Miles is fine, and also Captain America is fine, so none of this matters.
Yeah, I'm going to be so glad when this event's over.
The only person...
It's just so shit.
The only person who we can tell isn't fine is Iron Man.
Yeah, that kind of got bloody ruined.
Mm-hmm, the one big possible twist, and it's not even a surprise anymore.
Nah.
And the other one I read was Amazing Spider-Man #21. This was a tie-in to the Clone Conspiracy. But what's interesting about this is that it had nothing to do with Peter Parker. It was a single one-shot issue all about Kane, the Scarlet Spider.
Oh, cool.
And everything he's been doing from Spider-Verse until now. This one standalone issue basically says that Kane is the real hero of this event and not Peter Parker. It's kind of amazing, actually. If you're a fan of Kane and Scarlet Spider at all, then you should definitely read this one because you're going to love it.
Cool.
That was it for me for Spider-Man, and I'm pretty much at the tail end of books I read this week. There's a bunch I haven't read yet. What about you, Matt? How many do you have left if you wanted to lightning round them?
I had Green Arrow issue 11.
Oh, wait, I actually did read that. I'm wrong. What'd you think?
Pretty cool book. Pretty cool.
Pretty nice looking, too, isn't it? I love how they're in a train underwater.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Obviously, a reference to Murder on the Orient Express.
Which is why the story is called Murder on the Empress Express.
Yeah, and what I really like, and I said in my review, is that they're taking Green Arrow out of, like, the streets of Seattle and putting them in, like, these international espionage storylines, especially like this one, which was about peace summits and everything.
Very Mike Grell, very Longbow Hunters, which is funny because one of the characters from Longbow Hunters shows up in this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely taking him back to an era. And I like, too, at the end of this story, Green Arrow is kind of forced to reintroduce himself back to Seattle after everyone thinking he was dead.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do now. He's got to get his company back and everything. So
You know what he should do? Because Nightwing got Bloodhaven back, she should just say, hey, Seattle's stupid, I'm going to Star City and opening a new company.
yeah, Seattle's for losers.
I'm going to make a cooler city over here and you all won't be invited. Sorry, Generation West, I'm like 90 minutes away from you by ferry. If I wasn't feeling like crap, I would actually try and hop down to Seattle and see what you guys got going on there.
Yeah, make sure you look for the big, massive Doom ship on the coast.
Yeah, really. Oh, yeah, the Birdman's Doom ship. Thank God for Generation West for answering all our burning Seattle questions whenever we read that. Where it's like, hey, Generation West, do they really have a bunch of abandoned islands out there? Well, yes, actually, they do. Do they really have giant Doom fortresses? Well, only in the summer.
Yeah, do you have a jungle full of homeless people?
Oh, yeah, that's right. And a bunch of Nosferatu men with goggles who live in the sewers and come up and kidnap you. It's like in Gotham, you'd be like, yeah, that's fine. But like Seattle's a real city, though. It's like briefly when they took Nightwing to Chicago and tried to have him do stories there. It's the same problem. It's like, but this is a real place, though. At least when you read a story in Marvel's New York, you know it's Marvel's New York.
Yeah.
Where you've got Avengers Tower and the Baxter Building and all these places that don't exist in the real New York.
Yeah, and in Green Arrow, it's just Seattle.
When's Canada and Australia gonna get some love, Matt? When's a hero gonna move to Toronto and start working out of there?
we had Australia in the Injustice book.
That's
right. We had
a
hero be crippled by Superman.
Yeah, he got murdered quite early on, didn't he? And the Flash just stood there and watched, and he's like, "Oh man, I just sat and watched."
Yeah.
I'm a big wad, aren't I? But yeah, that was a good one. What else did you have happening, Matt?
Last book I had Green Lanterns issue 11.
I keep meaning to catch up on this. Everything I hear about the Phantom Ring sounds so cool. Maybe I'll read it on the plane back if I'm lucky.
It is so cool. It's such a good arc. So we got Frank, who's now got the Phantom Ring, and he's a Green Lantern, so he's fulfilled his dreams, and he actually goes and saves a girl, but you think it's for the right reasons. He wants to be a hero, but he just does it for the fame and everything that it gets him. And it leads to a pretty public display of violence between him, Baz, and Jessica.
Damn.
And I like that, like, Batman gets on the comms to Baz and say, "Damn it, Baz, don't do anything in front of the cameras."
Damn it, Baz, you're a renegade. Give me your badge and your gun.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the people start defending Frank as well, and he gets really smug about it as well. Like the art in it makes him look really smug and like makes you just want to hate the guy.
Look, we like Frank because he's a blunt lantern, is what he is. He's not an insider hero, is what he is. He's gonna drain the Justice League swamp.
And he eventually, like, obviously because of the fight, the people around him get scared of him, and because he wants their attention and everything, the Phantom Ring turns him into an Orange Lantern.
Oh shit! I can do that. I can just change him up and down depending on his emotions. That's awesome.
Yep. So I'm guessing we're going to go through probably all the cores. Red Lantern, Yellow Lantern, Blue Lantern. All them. I'm intrigued to see if they do like a Black Lantern or a White Lantern or something like that.
I would say to do black, does that mean that if you kill him, he'll just come back as a Black Lantern?
I imagine.
But how do you become a White Lantern, though, I wonder? I guess he'd have to, like, meditate and achieve that next level. You have to put a bunch of experience points into it and level up. That's what we would have to do. So is that it this week, Matt, for everything?
Yep.
Actually ended this one a little bit shorter. Sorry about that, guys. I haven't had a chance to read near as much, and also, as you can tell, I'm kind of dying over here. This is more talking than I've done all day, so I'd really like a chance to heal, but I also didn't want to deny you a show, because I know if you didn't get it, I would be derelict in my own duties. So what do you got coming out, Matt, this week?
I got obviously a bunch more comic reviews coming out, and I just did a video called Comic Not Camp,
Nice.
which I'm not going to tell people what it's about. They're going to have to go take a look at what it's about. But I know a lot of people.
Title.
have really liked it. So if there's other videos like that people want me to do, I'll probably definitely do them.
I can basically tell by the title right now that's something I would like, and that's definitely an argument you and I have been having with people for a long time.
Yep, that's exactly why I did it.
There you go. Getting the important stuff out there. Getting the word out to everyone. I'm actually looking right now over over on the comic release schedule, see if anything new or interesting of note comes out this week.
Yeah, I think it's actually quite a light week, like lighter than usual. At least for me, it is.
In comparison, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I love this DC Rebirth, but I hate the fact that I'm reviewing most of the books.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing my Rebirth Roundup series. I'm just like waiting for certain series that I'm not reviewing to hit like issue 5 or 10, and then picking them up straight from there, like Nightwing and stuff.
That's a great idea, Matt. I may need to steal that idea because it's so
Go
smart.
for it.
What do we got this week? We got Amazing Spider-Man Annual. I'm sure that will be a Clone Conspiracy tie-in. Ooh, we got Cage #2 from Gendy Tartakovsky. Did you read his first Luke Cage story that he did?
Nah, I missed it.
It was amazing because he writes it totally in that 70s style.
Yeah, I figured it would be sort of like a blaxploitation sort of thing.
Oh god, yes, it's straight up comedy and I love it. Oh, enough with that jibber jabber. I'm Luke Cage.
That's awesome.
I'm the hero of Harlem. It's amazing. It was really, really, really good. So we got that. Oh, we got the penultimate issue, Civil War #7 comes out this week.
Oh god, please just hurry up.
No, we won't be done till the end of the year, Matt. What else?
They're like torturing us with like, hey, do you want another issue? We'll give you another issue.
We got Prowler #2. Ain't nobody got time for that. Got the finale of Han Solo, as you were saying.
Yep.
Got Ultimates Squared #1. So for those of you out there who love your cosmic universe and are fans of that, you can check that out.
Yeah, I'll probably definitely be reviewing that. I like the Cosmic Marvel universe.
Oh, and Venom #1 comes out today, too, as I upload this.
Oh, really? That's the one with like the new Venom symbiote. We don't know who it is.
Yeah, we don't know. I know a lot of Venom fans were actually ticked off because apparently Venom Space Knight ended on a really great note, actually, with Flash coming back to Earth, reteaming with his old sidekick Mania, and just everything being really good in his life.
Yeah, well, there's always the chance that maybe the symbiote isn't the Venom symbiote.
Right, yeah, that's a possibility.
Could be something made by the government or something.
I think it would be really lame to sidetrack Flash Thompson as a character.
Yeah.
Like
I imagine he's still going to be in the book and he'll be somewhere else.
You would hope so. I would hope, like, if it's going to be a book where it's like, oh, we're going to make it about a villain, I hope the B story in that, much like in Thanos and much like in Carnage, is about someone trying to stop the new evil Venom.
Yeah, what if, like, maybe he has to share the Venom symbiote with someone?
Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of places you could go with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I guess with that, everyone, we'll bring this episode to a close. I am slowly losing my breath, and there is a cup of Neocitrin over there with my name on it. It's either that or just drink a lot of booze and go to sleep when I'm done here. Obviously,
Both work.
Both work fine. Obviously, of course, I will be uploading this to Patreon, Toot Sweet. So if you are a patron, if you help support the show and help support Matt and I in creating videos like this, you'll be able to listen to it first. Thank you for that. For everyone else, this show will be heading up on Wednesday. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, do all that other social media jazz. Be sure to find Matt over on Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, come find me. I'm doing some pretty cool videos.
Be sure to download the show and carry it around with you over on Podbean. And I'll actually try and get that up on time. Ever since I've been traveling and the time zones have been messing me up, I haven't been uploading that on time. Sorry for that, everybody. I'll try and fix that this week. So yeah, I guess that's just about it, huh, Matt? Nothing else to say, nothing else to do?
No, definitely a good show this week.
Yeah, to pat ourselves on the back and say we did a great job. Of all the podcasts we've done, this is one of them, and we're nearing 40 episodes of the Comic Multiverse soon.
Yeah, we'll have to do something special.
I guess we will. I don't know, maybe one of us will have to figure out how to actually stream a live show or something.
Yeah, I'm sure we can work it out.
I'm sure we can. That'd be difficult, though, because it means I gotta put on pants.
Or just frame the camera so you only see your face.
Oh, there you go, like I always do. Because that's the way you do it. And on that note, everyone, I will bid you adieu, bye-bye, and see y'all next time.
Bye.